Hello, everyone. Happy New Year. It's New Year's Eve. 2023 is coming up, and just another year of wealth and abundance for my life and everybody. Okay. Um, Today, we're going to talk about one of the Neville Goddard's teaching, and that is what they call the law of assumption. Meaning you live in the end. In fact, that's his Neville Goddard's exact quote, and that is to live in the end, meaning to live as if, okay, you already have whatever it is you want to manifest. Okay. Now, there are two things you need to watch out for when you try to live in the end, because I made the same mistake, and it cost me a lot of money. Number one, okay, obvious, is that let's say you want to be rich, okay, and you want to act like you are rich, okay. Well, that doesn't mean that you go out and start spending like rich people, because then you're gonna be in a poorhouse very quickly, okay. Don't make that mistake, okay. And here's why, okay. In a minute I will tell you, after I tell you about the second trap that you might fall into if you try to live in the end the wrong way, okay. But you have to understand the basics, the basic mechanics of how reality is and how mind works in order for you to do it correctly, okay, to live in the end correctly and not destroy yourself, right, or your finances or anything like that, okay. All right. The number two trap that people fell into, like me, when you supposedly live in the end, is that when you visualize what you want, in the back of your mind, at your core belief, you believe, or you think that, yeah, I visualize this and it will happen. Okay, so what you're saying is, it's not happening right now. You're not living in it right now. That's what you're saying to the unified field, or the universe. Okay, so then the universe is very literal. Okay, it doesn't understand metaphors or implying something. It doesn't understand. It understands directly. Okay, so when you feel, okay, feeling is the language of the universe, not thinking. Right? Thinking helps you feel. Okay, thinking helps you visualize, but to give it the energy, the oomph to make it come true, requires feeling. Feeling is the force that drives things. Okay, because the unified field is all about feeling. It's the energy field. Okay, it's all about feeling. So when you feel deep in yourself that you don't have it right now, and that's why you're doing it, that's why you're visualizing, and eventually it will come. Okay, big mistake. I did that, and I had very limited success from thinking that way. Here's what you need to do. Okay, when you visualize, you need to enjoy that experience already, right now, in your visualization. Okay, so let's say you want to manifest a nice trip to some exotic location. Okay, you need to engage all your five senses to enjoy it now, in your mind, okay, in your imagination, as Neville Goddard said. Okay, in your imagination, you have to enjoy it now. You might say, well, aren't I lying to myself? I mean, I feel awkward, right? When I first started this, started out with this, I felt awkward. I felt like, it's not true, I'm lying. No, you're not lying if you understand this. Okay, if you understand this fact, you don't see it as a lie at all. Okay, you ready for this? Here it is. Okay, we do not see the world as it is. We see the world, our brain reconstruct what our five senses tell our brain. Okay, so for example, right now, you might be sitting somewhere in your living room or whatever, in physical reality, right? Excuse me. For some reason I'm coughing. And You look around your room, for example, and you see, furniture, chairs, wall, window, TV, whatever it is, that you have in your present reality, and you feel your butt sitting on a chair. You could smell whatever it is, that you might have on the stove, cooking or whatever, or the certain smell from your house, from your environment. Okay, so you hear, you might be hearing, your spouse talking, or kids or dog or whatever, making noises, neighbor, whatever. Okay, so your senses take in all that information. Okay, and then your brain reconstruct that information to think that it's reality. Okay, to paint a picture of reality. Okay, now here's proof that it is only a reconstruction of reality and not reality itself. Okay, here's proof. While you're sitting there are radio waves and other electromagnetic radiation that hits you right now, goes right through your body, especially now with 5G and cell phone towers and all these radio communication. There are all kinds of waves passing through your body. But do you know they're there? No. Why not? Well, because you don't have the 5 senses that you are equipped with. None of them can detect radio waves. None. Your eyes can't. Your nose can't. Your taste buds can't. Right? Your ears can't. Okay? So to you, radio waves don't exist at all. At all. But they're everywhere. They're everywhere right now as you sit. So do you get a complete picture of reality? No. You get no picture of what radio waves tell you about reality. Okay? None. Totally oblivious to that. Okay? And what you get, okay, what you think is reality, is just a reconstruction of reality using the information for the 5 senses that your brain takes in. That's all it is. Okay? Here's the key to living in the end. Okay? Living in the end is when you delete or turn off all the 5 senses and replace them with your imagination. So for example, when you visualize going to an exotic vacation spot in the South Pacific, first thing most people visualize is, of course, the visual part, right? The beautiful ocean, right? That's what you see right away in your mind's eye, right? So what are you doing there? You are negating the information that your eyes tell your brain. Your current eyes tell your brain in your current situation, right? You might be sitting in the living room, but do you see the living room? Do you allow your brain to see the living room? No. Not while you're imagining you are in Bora Bora, South Pacific somewhere, right? While you're in that imagination, your brain sees the ocean, doesn't it? And depends on how vividly you imagine. Okay? At that moment, it's very clear to you that's the reality. But in order to make it into your physical reality, you have to engage all 5 senses. Not just your eyes, but your nose, your ears, okay? The taste buds, right? Because you can imagine, you can feed those information using your imagination. For example, you can taste the salty air or the salty water as you snorkel, right? You swim in the ocean in Bora Bora. Not only do you see the crystal blue water, okay, and you see the palm trees, you're floating, right, because you're snorkeling. You can feed your brain to taste the water, right, or to smell the ocean. It has a certain smell to it, okay. You can tell your brain to do all that stuff, to detect all that stuff, okay. So when you engage all your senses like that, okay, what you're doing is you are recreating reality using your imagination rather than your senses. Am I right? You see that? You are engaging your reality or your brain using the five senses instead of your five senses. You replace it with your imagination. You see? So your brain doesn't know that it's not real. Your brain doesn't know that the signals came from your imagination rather than from your five senses. Doesn't know that. Okay? Your brain doesn't know that. Okay? So here's proof that the brain doesn't know that. Okay? When you go see a movie, okay, let's say of a fight scene, okay, you actually get sweaty palms, right? You get excited, your heart rate beats faster, don't you? Or you go see a horror movie, okay? You know it's a movie, you know that, logically you know that, okay? But you still have a physiological reaction as if that was real, don't you? So it is very real to your brain, right? To your body, because your body starts to react as if it's real. You can do the experiment right now to prove it. Okay, just close your eyes, right? Quiet your mind. You know, don't pay attention to, you know, the sound or the sight or anything, and then imagine in your mind that you have a lemon in your hand. Okay, the lemon fruit in your hand, the citrus fruit. Now imagine biting into it. Okay, just imagine vividly that you bit into it. Don't you get a lot of saliva in your mouth? You see that? You see that? Did you bite into the lemon for real? No. You just imagine so, but yet you have a lot of saliva in your mouth in anticipation of that lemon. But you never did bite into that lemon. But yet you have that kind of reaction. Physiological changes in your body because of your imagination. See what I'm saying? All right, so before I realized this, I used to visualize a lot, and then I got disappointed when things didn't happen. Because embedded in my deep-rooted, I always think, well, if I do it right now, if I just do it right, you know, the correct technique, then it will come to me. No, the universe will say, yeah, it will come to you. And it will come to you. And it will come to you. And it will. It's literal. The universe is literal. That's what you want. You want it to will come to you in the future. So then it will always come to you in the future, not now. So you never experience it. See what I'm saying? All right. So don't make the same mistake as I did. Okay. When you experience that, whatever it is you want to manifest, you must experience it now in your present reality now. You must use your imagination, okay, to cause physiological reaction in your body as if it is real. It is here now. And as far as you're concerned, you should be enjoying it now in your mind. And then after the session, don't even think about it anymore. Don't think about it, okay? You might relive it, you know, in your mind afterwards as if it did happen, right? Because here's another thing to consider, okay? Let's say you did go on that vacation for real, okay? Afterwards, you back at your workplace and you got busy and things, you know, life happens, okay? And then you think back to the time when you were in the South Pacific or, you know, exotic locations like that, Hawaii or whatever, right? And you have a smile on your face, don't you? But what happened to that experience? Are you living in it now? No, it's in your imagination now. It doesn't exist anymore in real life. The vacation is done. You went on that vacation last week or last month or whatever, right? You're not there anymore. But you relive it in your past, don't you? And the only place that it exists now is in your mind, right? It doesn't exist anymore. It already happened, right? But every time you revisit it in your mind, you're happy, don't you? Because at least it brought some of that feeling back, doesn't it? At least some. That's why you enjoy reliving some of your past, right? So what I'm saying is, and researchers now know, brain researchers, neural researchers, they now discover that our brain perceives reality by creating a sort of delusion. Yeah, believe it or not, what you perceive as reality is a delusion. It's a sort of delusion that your brain creates. Okay, now, that may be going too far by saying it's a delusion, because the delusion implies that it has no connection to reality at all. It's pure fantasy. So in that sense, then, no. But your brain does reconstruct what it thinks is reality. Now, nature endowed us with the ability to be able to be pretty accurate as far as everyday physical reality. Okay? So when you perceive something every day, in the physical reality every day, you're pretty accurate, more or less, okay? So that you can traverse life, right? You don't run into a wall, for example, or fall off a cliff, because you could see that there's a cliff there, and your brain reconstruct that in your mind, okay? And then you know that, well, there's a cliff there, and I need to stop right here. I don't need to go further and fall off a cliff and die, okay? Nature endowed us that much only. Just enough so that we don't kill ourselves, okay? So that we can easily traverse the physical reality, everyday life. But if you encounter something out of ordinary, then your mind just can't grasp it, okay? For example, indigenous people of a few hundred years ago have never seen a European-built ship. Okay, big, right? They only knew about canoes. They can only build canoes. They can't build big ships. Okay, so as a result, they never seen a big ship. But when they encounter the first European traveler, okay, explorer, and they see the big ship, some of them don't see a big ship. They see a big bird in their mythology. Okay. Some of them don't even see it at all. They don't even recognize it's a ship. It's just there, but they just ignore it. They don't, because their mind cannot grasp something that they've never seen before. It's there for real. How come they don't see it? It proves that the mind reconstruct based on your biases the reality. It doesn't reconstruct reality 100%. Just enough for you to live. Okay, to not kill yourself, to survive. Okay, so knowing that, okay, that's a secret right there. Knowing that, you can use it and bend and shape reality into what you want. Okay, now you might say, well, how does that happen? Because my reality is in my brain, and the reality is out here. How can my brain affect the reality? Okay, out here. My brain is in here. The reality is out here. Okay, and here's how. Scientists now found out that the brain is not an organ that creates consciousness. Okay, there has never been any evidence in any research to pinpoint where in the brain is consciousness generated. They don't know where. Okay, now there's a lot of brain activities, meaning they can detect electrical signals. The synapses fire, right? They say, well, that's it right there. That's not any more true than if you Google something on your cell phone, right, or your device, and the information comes to you. Did your device generate that information, or did it take that information from the internet? See what I'm saying? So when you examine the phone, the device, while you Google something, It has a lot of electrical signals activities in there. Sure, it fires, electrons going everywhere in there. You might assume that there you go, it's generating that information, but it's not. Okay, because we invented the internet and the phone, and so we know that. Let's say you Google something about your favorite star. Okay, your phone didn't generate that information; it got it from the internet, right? Whatever site is that you went to is what you can get. Now, here's another thing. Anybody else that access that site will get the same information as you. Okay? Because it came from the same source. Let's say the website is about Elvis. I don't know. And it's done by the Elvis Foundation or whatever it is. Okay? So when you go into that website and learn about Elvis, 1 trillion other people on earth can access the same website and get the same information. Why? Because it's from the same website. Okay? So does your brain generate that information? No. Does your brain generate consciousness? No. You take in signals from the environment for your brain, your mind, really. We're not even sure it came from the brain, that the brain does anything, really. The brain has a lot of electrical signals, but that could mean it's just a transducer, an antenna. Doesn't mean that it crunch any information. Okay? It's a transducer that sends that information to the internet, the universe's internet. And then the universe's internet crunch the information, send it back to the brain, and the brain perceives. Okay? So that's the nature of reality that you can exploit and create something. Because guess what? Back to what the question was before about, well, how can what's in your brain can create what's in your reality? Well, your reality, our reality, is nothing but a computer game anyways. That's the latest theory. And the computer game is generated by what? Your brain? No. It's generated by the universe's internet, right? Back to my example before about Googling something, okay? The reason why everybody gets the same information from that same Google site is because it's the same site. And it exists in the internet. It doesn't exist in their individual devices, okay? So, let's say you have visualized something in your mind so vividly and you live it, okay? You live it right now and you're enjoying it right now. You're not waiting for it to happen because you're enjoying it right now. Why do you wait? It's right now. Right now. You are enjoying Bora Bora right now. You got water in your face, okay? You got, the sun in your eyes. You got the palm trees that you could see. You could feel the warmth of the water, okay? You could hear the splash of the water, okay? You're experiencing that right now, all right? You don't need to wait for you to experience. You're smiling right now. See what I'm saying? Okay, so then guess what happened? That information, okay, that information is perceived not by your brain. Remember, it is perceived by the universe's internet. Okay? The universe's internet also creates what we think of as reality. Okay? So if you perceive that way, what you're doing is you are sending the information to the internet, the universe's internet, okay, to store as reality. So then it reflects back to you as reality. Here's proof. Okay? You know James Dean, right? The 1950s heartthrob movie star, right? He died, right, from a car accident. He was driving his Porsche and another car hit him and he died. Okay? Well, before he died, he played a rebel that drove fast and died. Okay? Same thing with, what's that guy's name? Walker. Okay? In the movie Fast and Furious. Okay? In the movie Fast and Furious, he was driving fast, right? Very, very exciting. Cars jumping and high speed and all. Well, guess what? He died in real life. in a high-speed crash. Okay? Now, it doesn't always happen, you know. Just because you make a movie doesn't mean that your life turns out exactly like the movie says. But oftentimes it does, at least aspects of it. Why? That tells me that the universe doesn't know the difference at times. Sometimes it does not know the difference between a movie and reality. So it imprints, when you make a movie, especially, you are what actors call in character, right? You know, for you to be a good actor, you have to become the character. So then, depends on how vivid you become a character, the universe might not know the difference. Okay? So the universe doesn't know the difference. It's gonna start making it a reality. So you gotta be careful what you film, right? Okay. So doesn't it prove my point? And that is, look, if you vividly enough, if you imagine vividly enough in your mind impress upon the mind of the universe, okay, that creates reality and becomes reality. Think about that. So that's why it's very important that if you want to manifest something into your physical reality, that you have to immerse yourself in it and live in it and enjoy it now. You don't think that it's going to happen in the future. No. You don't think that it might happen. That's even worse. Okay? You enjoy it now. Just enjoy it now. In your mind's eye, you enjoy it now. Engage all your five senses, right? Or disconnect all your five senses from detecting your current physical reality and replace those five senses with your imagination. And keep doing that. Okay? You don't have to do it all day. Okay? The best time to do it is when you first wake up in the morning or just before you fall asleep. That's all. It only takes a few minutes. Enjoy that. Enjoy your imagined reality as if it's reality. It is reality. Enjoy it now. Not in the future, now. Don't say, okay, I'm going to visualize and then later it's going to happen. No. It's happening right now. That's why you enjoy it right now. Okay? Keep doing that, and I guarantee you, before you know it, don't even think about it. Don't even anticipate anything. Before you know it, you actually live that. With that, Happy New Year and happy manifestation.